Well, I don't know if I'm still shadow banned by you or not, but it's an interesting slow climb to the top, right? Very Capricorn of me. Happy to hear, though, some Creedence Clearwater Revival on the radio. Especially because I was just thinking about my boys and my DM, their dad. And one of his favorite bands is Creedence Clearwater. And because of that, it's one of our youngest favorite also. And I mean, our oldest loves it too. It's just good memories, right? Especially Have You Seen the Rain? One of my favorite karaoke songs to do now, too. I do not know why my hair wants to be extra wild lately, but I'm just going to go with it. It's just going to be a wild look. We're showering somewhere where there's well water and it might be a little more minerally than usual. In any case, this is a prayer video. I am just sending up prayers for my kiddos because one, they're incredible, and two, like how far we've all come and what we've all through. But no, like for those of you following along with our journey of, as some people are now calling it, transition, which is funny. Somebody said to me that someone was in transition, and I thought that they meant gender wise. And then I realized they meant homelessness. And I was like, oh, I guess that is another way to transition, isn't it? And that actually made me think about, like, I've had vehicles lately that have transmission issues, and that made me think about like the metaphor of that, to transmit something, right? To communicate something, to shift forward, backward, whatever you need, right? And then I was thinking about that transition. It's pretty similar word energetically, you know, shifting from one phase to another phase, or one space to another space, or one housed situation to another housed situation, or even shifting genders. Like, it's interesting. And whereas for a while there was a lot of synchronicities and energies about shifting, now there's a lot about splitting, which is interesting. And I've been thinking about that stuff while thinking about my boys. Because I admit, my womanly time hit and the moon hit, and with the getting fired and stuff, like, I was exhausted. And I've been extra grateful because there's a local woman who offered us she has a trailer. It's kind of a fifth wheel, I think. Well, it's funny, it's a little one bedroom almost. It has actually three beds in it, but it's got two beds that we can use. And one of them's a bedroom. It's nice. Eamon can have that. And it's a little more than a car. And Squeak is not that way, moving around in the car a lot. Although we just realized earlier, he's probably bored now because he probably got used to enjoying getting to look out the big windows in the car and stuff. And now he's like in the RV, and, well, sort of RV. But I've been thinking about him though, like, it's funny to think about the different things to be grateful for, like having my son in the car with me with his bird. Like, we could go places and they got to see lots of things. I'd take him door dashing with me. We'd go run errands together. Like, there's a lot more to see and do, right? And now that we have space where he can have his privacy, which he likes, he's a Pisces with a Sag rising, he likes his privacy. And Squeak's a little more consistent on that. But now, like, they go less places with me. And I think that wouldn't be so strange, except for, like, when my oldest phone was broken. Like, I don't know, I feel his pain on it because, like, nobody reached out to him while it was broken. And, like, his old phone was, the battery was already pretty, so, like, it was dying all the time. And usually with text messages, like, when your old phone dies, the messages don't go into the phone yet. And when you get a new phone, they'll pop into that new phone. And we saw that that was true because his little brother actually was one of the only people that sent him a message. And I love my voice. I love that. You know what I mean? That it would be that. It would be his little brother that would be the one to be like, hey, look at this thing. Hey, how are you? Stuff like that. And, like, I don't know, none of his friends really were like looking for him, and I kind of get it. He's very self-reliant in a lot of ways, like me. And I know that because of the Mercury retrograde and life stuff and things going on, that it's not like anybody. It's sad because it's like nobody did it in a sense of like, oh, I don't care about Eamon or I don't care about that. Like nobody does that, but it's still like, but nobody thought about you enough. Nobody worried enough, and it was only like a week and a half. I think maybe 2 weeks, but and I had put the word out to like a lot of people that his phone was broken. So there's a lot of factors, you know what I mean? And him and I have gone over them, but that doesn't help his heart feel better, you know what I mean? He already, like, look at all the pirates, like my parents and his aunt, his dad's siblings, and all these people basically just abandoned him, and like, and mostly because they're mad that the truth got told by me. And they were already instigating things before, making things harder between him and his dad, like, which they confessed to, so, like, there's just so many things, you know, and he lost his favorite great aunt last year. We still, like, the rest of my family never thought to put together something that everybody could do, where everybody could go, that would be a wake thing, so, like, he's still feeling that. I promised him we'll go somewhere in the spring, and like it's a very significant landmark location that he wants to go to that reminds him of her, and we'll deal with that. But like those emotions are still there, you know. And he never really like he tried hard to make friends in school, but it wasn't the easiest place to make friends. And I'm trying to get him on board with looking up stuff for his, for the community colleges. I've already looked up pretty much, well, not all of them. There are a lot. I realize there are a lot, especially once you open up the Skagit. But I've looked at most of the major ones. I know which ones can provide good educations. I know which ones have the programs that he can get into for the 2-year transferable degree. And I know which ones will likely have like programs that he's okay with doing now that will get him to the overall degree that he wants in university. So like I know it, but I'm trying to help him get the motivation to put, to be more excited into that. Like he was, but then a lot of the social stuff, and he's my Pisces, so like he's like his dad, watery, emotional, like it's not always a word thing. Sometimes it's a feeling thing, and like I know he needs his time and his space to have his squishy emotions. We talked about that. Like, don't you try to bottle up all your squishy emotions all the time. Like, and you're not always going to have a right space, right time. Like, his dad was always waiting for his clean. You learn to have that inner clean space wherever you are, like, yes, it's nice when you can have your own space and it's consistent and there and you have all the money and you have all the things, but don't let life not happen because you don't have the perfect words or the perfect amount of money or the perfect situation. Live anyways. And that's what we talk about a fair amount. But anyways, I'm praying for him that, and his birthday is coming up. So far we have, I think, a handful of people that are going to come. I'm really praying that some more do. That his dad doesn't turn around on his commitment to come. He said he would, and that he'd bring our little Joey. And I'm hoping that the Spirit will hold him to it, and that your prayers will help. And then, I'm praying that he find the inspiration again. That smile on his face when he saw that show showing university and stuff, and the thought of true philosophical conversation and people that actually care about learning and stuff like that. Like he was excited for that. I'm hoping that he gets that back soon. And I don't know, that we get a routine set up to where he's got stuff he's doing every day that brings him joy and gratitude. I don't even know what all exactly it'll be. Just whatever he needs. I don't need nor want to control that. And that brings me to my youngest, my little Joey, who's with my DM, or his dad. And we're kind of in like, I call it like a crossroads. And like a timeline crossroads where, I mean, there's always infinite outcomes that could happen with all things, but at this moment, like, I can sense, because I'm tired, like, and when I have a lot of energy, I can typically carry most things through just on my faith, you know? But there are times when even I can sense that, like, I'm at a crossroads and other people are at crossroads and things could go different directions. And I'm generally open to all outcomes. The ones that I'm sensing is that, well, the first one is simply that things are a little rough right now and that they're going to get better because I spoke up. And, well, let's just say after the, like, it's not a huge amount of stuff yet, but it's been building up and it's getting to where my youngest is definitely showing some signs of depression. And there's neglect going on, which was already, it was going on over there, but I did not allow the kids over there. And there was tons of arguments for the last couple of years with my DM about how it wouldn't be that way for them and stuff like that. And so this is like the showing of that, like, really. It's like my youngest expressed that he was afraid to go and ask about food when he was hungry. And I know that the karmic has, like, chains on all of the cabinets and everything. She says it's because her kids have no self-discipline, but then, like, today, nobody was up until, like, late in the afternoon, and my youngest was up all morning excited about a toy that his dad had ordered for him that really, my mom's side said, that's not a good toy for you to get for him, and it's not a good unsupervised toy. But he decided to get into it. He was excited. He was tired of waiting for them to get up, and he opened it, and he got cut by the toy. And I guess he texted the karmic, who just, like, slapped a band-aid around it or told him where the band-aids were or something. Thank you, Seafar. And but then he's still, like, he's my little Leo Scorpio, you know, like, you don't have to coddle him, but he does have a squish, and, like, he just got hurt, and he was hungry, and he didn't want to say anything, and, like, nobody was up, and I kept encouraging him to go and, like, go and knock on the bedroom door, get your dad up, get him up, you know, and that he was more worried about making sure that he got sleep and that his mood was good. And I said, honey, this isn't okay. You're 10 years old. It's not your responsibility to worry about whether or not your dad's getting enough sleep or in a good mood. It's his responsibility as the dad to mind his own emotions and his own sleep schedule and to feel grateful about getting up, you know, to get to hang out with you, to get to do stuff with you. You shouldn't be worried about, you shouldn't be being the parent, is effectively what I was telling him. But he's a lot like his dad. It's a lot more, no, I'll caretake others. So I had his brother say something to his dad about all of it, like, hey, he cut himself and he needs your help cleaning it up, putting some peroxide on it and stuff. And then also saying, hey, if you feel like it's too hard for you to take care of our son, then I always have room for him. He is always welcome. And, like, that's me saying that shit. Like, we're in a trailer now. We're in a good situation, running water, toilet, showers, laundry, use of a kitchen, things like that. We're always getting better from where we are, but that doesn't necessarily mean we might not end up back in the car for a little while. Like, I've got some jobs lined up and things like that, but even at that, like, I had some talk even with, because we did at least, I think because of probably the nonsense, my DM had decided that he wouldn't say no again on us being able to see him and having some lunch with him or something, like, so he did. He let us take him for a burger, and he didn't join us, and that was fine. But some of our talk was about, hey, you're always welcome. Like, I'm going to always make sure you're fed. And you want to be up and do something fun on Sunday mornings? Let's the three of us do it. We've already had plenty of times where we've gone camping in the car for like a week to go to spiritual events and different things like that. Like, we know how to do this stuff. And, like, I don't know, though. Like, my prayer, though, is for the timeline that I've been holding on to the most strong. And it is still there. It's that my DM, their dad, turns things around. Because everyone else wanted him to fail. Like, that's part of what really got to me. Everybody wanted him to fail, and everybody wanted me to fail. I don't want him to fail. I don't want a story to be to where, like, he failed, and then I got my youngest back, and we went on our merry way that way. No. I want it to be to where he gets some gumption to function and he succeeds and he cares more about himself so that he can care for our kiddos. Because, like, that's the other thing. Like, I'm putting up big prayers that he start asking to reach out. Like, he start doing the reaching out to our oldest. Shouldn't be our oldest always reaching out to him. It shouldn't be me always instigating that stuff. He should be filled with gratitude to be a father to two beautiful sons. Like, my youngest just told me today too, because I've not been in trouble at one time yet at Dad's house. I even clean up. He says I even clean up my toys when I play with him across the bar. He has this old bar that was his dad's, the kind of table thing. Um, but you know what? I was so happy to see that my youngest was proud of himself for that. You know, we worked all summer on him getting better at cleaning up his little mess areas and things like that, and he's proud of that, you know. He deserves to have a dad who comes out and says something nice about that. And a dad who doesn't make him feel like I guess he said, like, when I had our oldest, which it should be between the two of us, but he's blocked me and wants to only communicate through the kids, which is not my favorite, but I will do it if that's the way that it will be done for right now. But he showed our youngest, which is fine. I don't have anything to hide from it, but he twisted it. Like, instead of me saying, look, you know, you need to keep him from getting depressed. You need to care more about that stuff. He made it sound like I said that he told me that he was depressed. And it's like, you shouldn't be making our 10-year-old feel guilty about sharing his feelings or be trying to twist it a different way. Like, just take it as the feedback that it is. Like, our kiddo is not he's not feeling secure there. You know, he's not feeling safe there. He's not feeling welcome to talk to you about things. You might drive crazy or be grumpy, or someone else might have emotions, and like, it's not right to make a 10-year-old responsible for every adult's emotion. It's our job as adults to do that, and I want to see my DM fill up with that pride, like healthy pride of being a healthy dad and saying, no, you know what? I'm going to start getting myself up. He used to be such an early man. Me and both boys talked about it at our meal. Like, remember when Dad used to be the first one up out of all of us? He'd be up and showered and dressed and have coffee and already be out mowing the lawn, you know? And he'd get up and have, yeah, see, I hear you, see, far. Yeah, but you know, he used to be the first one up, and he'd get them up, and I mean, you know, the irony is, it's like stuff that I used to do, and I think that's part of what bugs me is like, wait a minute, you rid my ass until I got my crap together about not sleeping in and being up during the day and all that stuff, and like, why is it okay for you now? Like, no, like, no, time's Sir DM to get up and greet the day, every day, you know. No more deep party nights, no more letting people be loud all through the kitchen all night, no more placating towards pirate emotions and stuff. Like, time to put the kids first. And that's the last part of my prayer. Is like, it's for my boys, but it's for me and for my DM. Like, I want him to succeed. I want him to be able to fulfill his own dreams too, you know. There's a lot of naysayers that came together to put him in the situation he's in, and while he's responsible for a lot of the decisions he's made, I know what it's like to have a lot of people all around you filling your head with a whole bunch of fear and nonsense and stuff. It don't make it easier, you know, and like tying you down with obligation that weren't yours to carry in the first place. Making things harder when you already knew the easy, healthy way to do it and stuff, and you know. I pray for him to succeed because it would mean so much to our boys. And it would end the cycles too. Like, I mean, the way his dad, my dad, and their dads and things like that, like, it's not a great history, you know? It would be great for our boys to get to experience the rest of their lifetimes with a healthy relationship with their dad. And then prayers for me. That, like, I'm going to keep moving either way, but I really would like some flowing energy to come back in. And just some clarity on the right direction to go. I feel like there's some amount of spirit saying, stop and smell the roses kind of thing. Like it's okay, slow it down for just a minute and think about things. Because I realized in the last job that I manifested, it matches a lot of the jobs that I'd manifested before when I was doing 9 to 5ers instead of more of my own businesses. That I've been manifesting jobs that include dynamics like the ones I had with my adopted mom. And it's hmm, like there's a number of shadows in there to work on, but I'm not sure. Like we need money to come in. I can't, I've already, well, even when we were sitting at lunch, I came in from a smoke break because I wanted the boys to get a chance to just hang out with each other for a minute because we didn't get very long with each other. And I ran into one of the waitresses outside and I was talking to her about seeing if they were hiring and things like that, and what their kitchen dynamics were like. And then I came back into the table, so I was just talking to them about a job. How would you think about me working here? And my oldest says to my youngest, yeah, Mom pretty much talks to everybody everywhere we go about a job. like, and, and my youngest smiled and was like, it sounds about right, right? It's very Capricorn for one, but it's also very I don't know, I feel like it's a good example at least. Like I am tired and I am doing a lot that's just me, and trying to make sure that I don't drop the ball with either my oldest or my youngest, even though my youngest isn't in my primary care, technically legal, not even technically, legally he's still in my custody, and there's still a whole lot of weirdness because of all the pirate stuff. And you know what it is, prayer for me, I want a renewal of that faith that I've been carrying, that things are gonna work out, that my boys' heart's wishes come true, and what they want is a good relationship with me, their mom, and with their dad. And I want to provide a beautiful home for them. Don't have to be big. It don't gotta be fancy. Just a place where love exists, where love grows. And I know I need the energy for that, and I need to be able to see the clarity of, like, where do I find work that's long term that I can do with my body, with my arthritis going on, and my temperament, because I really have low temperament for people that don't have healthy boundaries or that slack off because they tend to get upset about me not slacking off and then causing other problems. And I feel like if I'm going to go back into food, like I should aim back towards management again. Like, let's go ahead and climb up. Let's do the Capricorn thing and climb up. But then there's also the other side of me that's like, I want to work on teaching those magic classes and manifesting courses and work on that with you guys. I know that when I did that last poll, that was a big one that you guys wanted too. Though I still have some fear in there of like, will it be enough? Will enough people go? Like I need to work on those shadows, but I also don't have a whole lot of time to work on that stuff. So do I get something in the meantime and then work on that stuff while I'm on the way? Like, knowing that whatever I get in the meantime may or may not be fantastic. So many things. So little time. Especially because we only have all of the planets direct until April, so it feels like that's the time to get things done, is now till April, is get your shit set up, because we're hitting some major retrograde seasons and things going on by April. So it's kind of one of those buckle up buttercup sort of energies. Either way, thank you everybody for your prayers, for amplifying my prayers, for praying for yourself. Don't forget to pray for yourself often. And remember, a lot of times prayer is just your conversation with the universe. You don't have to have a specific religion or anything like that to pray. And it could be the manifestation energy that you're sending out. It could be your wishes. It could be, you could talk with specific deities. You could just be talking with yourself. Just make sure that you pray often. You think good things about yourself and about the other people around you, because what you put out, you get back. And so, you are in my prayers too, all of you. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you in the next video.